Another story on the front of the Oz tomorrow. Clean energy, ambition at risk. Oh no. Former competition czar Rod Sims says embracing an ad hoc made in Australia approach to net zero transition by 2050 could destroy Australia's chances of becoming a clean energy superpower. And I wonder why that might be. Probably because the stuff that we will make here in Australia will be hideously expensive and no one will want to pay for it. And we will have spent all that time and money trying to build this stuff that ultimately won't get used. You've got to love it when this stuff blows up in their faces.
The former competition boss has pointed out that the government are, as always, big on slogan, very small on detail. And some wag wrote in the comments section of that article that instead of calling it Made in Australia, we should just call our energy policy Mad in Australia, because that's pretty much what Accurate. It is. So you've got another example of government trying to pick winners. And, the Made in Australia policy is now imperiling the Australian renewable energy superpower.
It's so misleading,
policy.
though. It's so misleading. Who's not going to get behind something called Made in Australia? It sounds epic. Yes. And when you read the fine print, it's anything but. We are decimating our prosperity, and these guys want to convince us that it's a great thing. So they have slapped on a great slogan that anyone just reading the headline would get behind. But if you scratch the tiniest bit beneath the surface, the veneer is so thin, it is literally a soup of terrible ideas, more of them.
We remember it used to be football, meat pies, kangaroos and Holden cars. We haven't got the Holden cars anymore. So football, meat pies, kangaroos and wind turbines,
It doesn't have quite the same ring or patriotic feel.
No. But that's
and no real meat in your pies, by the way.
No, that's
I hope
it.
you're talking about the protein
soy pie or
plant-based rubbish.
Actually, I've got to say, you said earlier when we were talking about electric vehicles, if you stop at the servo and get yourself a Coke and a cherry ripe, and I thought, geez, what kind of Australian are you, James?
When I stop at cherry ripe,
when I stop at the servo,
breakfast of champions.
When I stop at the servo on a road trip, I'm having an iced coffee and a sausage roll because I'm a pop Australian.
Mrs. Max or bust.
Well, being a South Australian, I'll take a Villies.
I'll tell you what I used to like is Polly Waffles. Remember those?
Yeah, I think they've made a comeback, haven't they, recently? I reckon Polly Waffles are back, though it's not the proper Polly Waffle. I think they're like a little ball of Polly Waffles, but they're back. And they're made, I believe, by Roban Men's, another South Australian company. How about it?
All right, all this discussion's making me hungry. Let's move on.